Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Zulfaidah. Student number 801213336. Well, I'm going to talk about part of speech. Okay, what are parts of speech? Part of speech is a part of English grammar in the form of a classification of words which are divided into separate categories based on their role and function in the structure of a sentence. What are the types of parts of speech in English? What are the 8 parts of speech? Actually, most people know that there are only 8 types of parts of speech in English, namely verbs, nouns, adjectives, pronouns, adverbs, preposition, and conjunction and interjection. But here my presentation is divided into 3 main sections. Number 1, noun. In simple terms, nouns are nouns. Noun is a classification of words used to name things, people, places, ideas. Nouns can be singular and plural. In a sentence, a noun can function as a subject, direct object, indirect object, subject complement, or object of a preposition. There are several types of nouns, namely a common noun. Common noun is a word that is still general in a category. For example, city, man, day, country, girl, and boy. Because it has a general nature in writing, the initial letters do not use capital. B. Proper nouns. Proper nouns are the opposite of common nouns, namely the specific names of people, things, places, and so on. Well, because it is specific, the initial letters are written in capitals. This writing applies if the noun is located at the beginning, middle, or end of the sentence. Example: January, Intan, Singapore, Bandung, etc. C. Countable nouns. Countable nouns are words that can be counted, even though there are so many of them. Examples of countable nouns include cat, apple, table, chair, and many more. If their number is more than one, plural, in writing it is usually preceded by some, any, a few when singular. The prefix can be the, a, or an. Speech. The uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are nouns that cannot be counted, even though the number is large or small. These nouns still cannot be quantified in units of numbers. For example, sand, water, milk, etc. E. Mixed noun. So I mix noun is a noun that can be countable or uncountable depending on the context. For example, hair, aka. Next, number 2, verb. The next part of speech is the verb. In English, a verb is a form of a verb. The function to describe an action or situation directly or indirectly, seen or not seen. The types of verbs in English are also very diverse, namely A. Action verbs. Action verb is a verb in the form of an action that can be seen by others. Action verbs are also known as dynamic verbs. Examples of action verbs are swim, run, sing, work, and many more. Action verbs often appear in verbal sentences. B. Stative verbs. Stative verbs are verbs that refer to a condition or situation. Stative verbs are used to describe things like your likes and dislikes, qualities, opinions, beliefs, and emotions. For example, love, want, no, dislike, needs, and so on. C. Transitive verbs. Transitive verbs are verbs that function to describe the direct object that is carried out by the subject. For example, kick, fight, bake, paint. D. Intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs are verbs that do not describe the direct object of what the subject is doing. There Therefore, this verb is not followed by a noun that acts as an object, for example, life, sun, etc. And last, number 3, pronouns. As the name implies, a pronoun is a word whose job is to replace a noun in order to avoid repetition. The following are the types of pronouns. A. Personal pronouns. Personal pronouns is a word to replace a person's noun. Examples of personal pronouns are I, you, we, they, he, she, it, them. B. Demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns are words that function to replace demonstrative words according to the number and distance. For example, this, that, those. C. Interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns is a pronoun to ask a question, for example, who, which, one, whose, what. The relative pronouns. Relative pronouns function as pronouns for relative clause. A relative clause is part of a dependent clause in the form of a sentence consisting of a subject and verb but cannot stand alone as a sentence. For example, like the words who, which, one, whose, what, that. Read the full explanation in the article which is relevant. Defining steps and example sentence. E. Indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns is a substitute for stating things that are general or general in nature. For example, another, anything, everyone, everything, someone, none, nothing, anyone. F. Reflexive pronouns and intensive pronouns. Reflexive pronoun is an object that refers back to the subject in the sentence itself. Meanwhile, an intensive pronoun is a pronoun that is used to emphasize the subject in a sentence. So, what distinguishes these two types of pronouns is only the purpose of their use in a sentence, for both have the same example, like myself, myself, himself, himself, himself. G. Reciprocal pronouns. Reciprocal pronouns is a pronoun to indicate a verb when there are two or more subjects who perform the same action against each other. For example, each other, one another. 8. Possessive pronouns. Of course, this is related to ownership, yet a possessive pronouns is pronoun to show someone's possession. For example, mine, yours, hers, is. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.